You're listening to Bitilo with Nfally Fadera. You're listening to Bitilo with Nfally Fadera.
Assalamu alaikum mbadi lame lalu ngali kontong ngali bismillah Bitilo kibaro to jang koteke bi tenelungo julai karotili mongola mbenyi sango men kono konton dro kola dron kon dalta ka kenyamen Bitilo to jang ngaluntamol soto jang luntam bunyari mbalu nim men yalon ko lel binadu na kacha kono katun kullel be ke kan Gambia men yalon ko sulo be jele purunga dinke kono ning molye kacha mol men yalon ko faham wo ku fulolu mendi folo mo mendi wala muko ni kuya nin sunu kuba wala belarin banko kan kabin tumo menna e ko kulungo me yalon ko wala wuduta kabo Gambia e ko kulungo wala boyta Mauritania la fanka sulu kono Gambia ni Mauritania tema ya tani je ko mensiata mo keme fuladi mo tallulu wala be kulungo kono kulungo nyina alhalo abe tembo mendo ube kela fendi malon ko mba jibela mbe dinkala kono nyato domanding molle be Gambia dimbayalu mol men yalon ko wollel badingol wuduta be nyin kulungo kono hanibi be siring be telefono batula be la molla ko li nyinila bar ko ku be wodo dorom ning Ebrima Drammeh be dunna wo kacha kono ka dinka kono nga mellon wo kulungo la koro a wuduta damento kabo Gambia banko kam momen nanka mo beje banko din jumalel mu anin ko ku be dendi wo kulungo la anin nyin duma silata ning Ebrima Drammeh beduna akacha kono jamali yalo ni Ebrima Migrant Situation Drammeh la nyaato domandi mfana mbadi ngolum mbe kacha ke la kula me alon kolbe ke kan Foni mem felenting West Coast region kono nal hakilo ba kan commando al ba kala mutala ko iko Senegalese sojarolu wollelu findita Foni kono itara boy Bullock Military Camp kan ye fenso karakilingo be boy men na jam fota ta kanyang fo meter kemafula wana take fendi malon ko ala faka badiya julo anin kundu wara fanka badiya nyin jija badiya malon ko wala be Gambia ni Senegal tema katun kule malon ko ay Gambia din jamalelu kamfa ay nuekuya e banku koten isinyo banku la sojerol ye dunnan ila banko kono e manda wada mala bari tara fo military campodo katinyaro keje mendu yo sabu nga memmuta wala mu ko Senegalelu ko wo fenso dunda Senegal la nane wala kono memmu ila kenoti Senegal banko bari koku beden ni wala mbewol be jibela so mbadi ngol na la fanga jibeke kachala wara nga dinga kalong muneketa nyin kulunga la koro kulunga mem boyda ten bari nyin banku ko mem fana be Gambia ni Senegal tema mbe lorin ko e nyaadi le al senso demanding mbe Kebba Ansu Manneh sot la jang Kebba Ansu keta moti me alon ko atele mu journalist oti me yo kibaro nyin janjang menketa nyin Foni kibaro di bari mbe ambassador Essa Bokar Sey fana sotla akera moti me alon ko londo lukata ni nata banku nim banku tema badi yala badi tankola ko fanan atenyin farfindulo triji karola asiela mano manding ngakundo kibaro jibe ni obatala doron sinabula wakachako bari ngolu ngali konton koteke na Bitilo kibaro to jang alnal bari malom falli fadera kunto kibaro dum bo folo la menna wala mo kibarti nga memuta standard newspaper bulu ko nga fa nyame go bedendi menna wala mo atanyin kulumbodi men sodra Gambia ni Mauritania la fanka sulu kono standard newspaper dinkata ko nyin kono ya tani je ko kibaro men sodo wala mo ko kulungo nyin awuduta Gambia le andu men siata mo kema fulati mo tansaba nim feng wala bo kulungo kono bari ko nga fa nyame nga Ebrima soto jang Ebrima Migrant Drammeh Migrant Situation Drammeh nabe awo dinkala wo kono atabe ko be bola moli nyodo kibar ko renga memuta sanani so bulu fanam be den kulela nyanta men kacala men keta atanyin chochoti membe dunkan Gambia ni Senegal tema banko kola ani nane wo ko ngayta ni nyamenna eko Senegalais la sojerolu tata findi block le ye ma kanke je Gambia man sakunda diamuda Ibrahima G Sankare ateleka diamu man sakunda toyala atudu ye meitandi je wala muko ako nyom bara sifa kabo Senegalo la karola ako tonyendirolem anda ko kule malon ko amanyen nakela mansakunda ya ko nyim bayle bara tani je ko mansakunda be haklima tambandila je ka je ko de bariya julol menbe nanyim banku flanu tema nga ko tamani wala isaje de fitna be nyim banku ko la karola asake fendi malon ko abe banna ko kibaru le tani ama United Democratic Party opposition UDP wol fana ye ikango kafu e ko be mansa kundala lodula fasala nyin koto ka ko nyin bay ka mulu njaw yandi ya tani je fanan ko bari wo nyanya nyama fanan be kirlo kela pour hakili male se nyin kota ma bam Gambian in Senegal tema na alpha balla alpha banko alpha linkantio la temboto isaje fitna beje abese diamu ay kumfa ay bang hani bi mbadi ngula to boda ku kilimo ko la drom na kibar do mem fana muta al Kamba Times bulu o duye meitandi wala muko Senegalais la sojarul tata findi na nane sato do lel fanan kan men felenting Central River region kono dingirato government ko jimbala ker musa o mudla tamenti alon ko be lo salum le kono e ko Senegalais sojarul tata findi je modu kan gambe dingon be sabati wo jimbala kono ila kunkoluto itata ye bayje e ka foy ko e be Senegal banko le kono je manke Gambiati ya tani je ko la sojarolu meni ye dandang kata ka Gambia Senegalu pipindi ke bayila kenol do anila kunkol do e ko ato je ma fam molle meni alan ko lebe sabatring Senegal lo karola je ko kibarolu ya tandi nyamena ya tani je ko Senegal la sojarolu menu fam tata o dulaldo e ko en kiri joran sangarali mballel tara je ka findi atani Gambia dingol kan ke bayila kunkoto ko je mula dulalelti e ko biri woketa e jisate mol meni alan ko lelbo dinkirato e ko akete jahali kubati akete ye tere makudi kadu e ko e namana o nyum problem sifa soto e ko jele mu kunkodi dementi alon ko e tol mama nyoli exeno ke wolato e mama nyoli e do ke wolato so janni e ko in sotta fo janni hani Gambe famo be independence sotla o kambala nyin Senegalais sojarolu ning je sate o molu ye fintinam ke bayila kunkoro o keta kudi me alon ko ay kamfa ay dew andi ko be sisiro kila man sakundala pour iselo akola e ka me ko Musa Ba memu jimbala ker Musa alkalo dingoti adiamuta Kamba Times ya meitandi wala muko koytolu be sate wala kono doron jeni nje yaji Senegalais nata e la sojarolu e findite kan sate kono ka foy ko ala dangal kanata kunkoto kotake ko aytandi nyamenna ay taraje wala nyama e ko nyin sojarol findite kan ke dandala sangara limbala ñunu be nata ke kudi malon ko ay ketan ni ko anin kamfa kudi Gambe din jamaliye bari ko ngaytandi nyamenna ñi nane ko ñi boda ko me Gambe ni Senegal tema Kebba Ansu Manneh kibaro janjang al Kamba Times atele mu journalist foloti meye nyim boda ku problème o kibaro janjang atele fana e video nyim findindi nyaata do manding abe kafulamma nabe wo ko kacala Essa Bokar Sey ambassador afana bettar la jang kam mako e kakol bondi mole nyoto bari me kacha folo la menna wala mu Ebrima Migrant Situation Drammeh kana ka jibeke te nyim kulumbo la men sorta Gambe ni Mauritania temal kana ta handla ni murtanam ning Ebrima sina dum kacha ko bari ngolu ngali kontom ko reke na Bitilo kibaro de jang alnal bari malum Nfally Fadera ngali sa fale ko atolu membe moy kan radio to Gambia be moy kan Vibes FM le 106.1 FM atolu men fanan yalon kal ben jibe kan blal to internet oro sa fale ko ngali jay alla kafoma bari kal wakilindi fanan al se subscribe na Bitilo channel to YouTube Facebook anin bla ko to albakata kan men siata mo wuli muanti nyin lok mo nga wole soto nyin kartang anin klima kono nga menke nyin kibaro la bari nga jey ngal tentu mbal wakilinda dora setenten ka Bitilo like anin fanan ka kibaro janjay saje mo jamal sa soto Ebrima an kontantan se wota ke soto jang bari neku yara fanan ko kana men kacha sunuku balem nga kibaro mem muta wala muko Gambia dingolu wara nsafo kulungo mem bota Gambia ko wala boyta Gambia ni Mauritania la jiolo kono ite ka bola nyin kol no ma yake so sodo la fanga ka chafolo damendo safo molie nga mellong nyin kulungo la kodo kulungo me alan ko le boyta den kulungo nyin a wulita kabo min dole alim fana muntumale mu a wuruta mo jelle fana mbako ngalo na bata Gambia le bari so isi kacha nyin dadi molie wodola
abarga bake baldi ngi tentu bake ngalla mo irla fana be konto men be ka Bitilo noma ani men be radio to signing ani men be online iwe dawo dandi ngal be tentu bake ngal jay ba ko nyame Ibrahima Drammeh la barbutum jama long Ibrahima Migration Situation mbali ko ya ko nyame abo nyale Gambia ning safuno lo kum fana keta sunnoti me yanon ka sunno wara bata ni wato kulon kalamuta ko birin kar tambila junu karo kulon do wulta mi yalan ko karo tili mois ani say nin kulon wulta damen wala mu bafulo do kulon nyimbira wulta bafulo do me yalon ko be bafulo to ben kulon nyi wulta bafulo to nata men understand wala mi kulon nyi tata damen wala mi diko boda Gambia le birata rawat min tili tang ko tili muang anin kili janni kulon nyi be jela kulon nyi birana la tawati men nata men faham wala mi tinin kulon bira tata pulo kun kilin pulo kun fula nata kiwaro sto wulu dal bulu jama min yalan ko e baade be kulon kon komandiro ke kaytandi ko kulon ne wulta mi yalan gon defam lo kun saba komando ni fondin ke dul diamu ta fondin ke men ko wala be fondin ke men yalan ko wala be fenko kono
kulungo nyin kono akam do ko idimbala fak ala fakay kafula makajato le
ya ate mala
akam
mo
do ala
ni
kafula
kambala ya
makajato afay ko en sulu
ya
ngi bari Ibrahima la faka lo demendo iko kulungo nyin wuduta jun karoti mo nin seyole
fonni say ha bafuloto so bringa kibaro ni soto ndefa nga kibaro soto fondi fondi bo dole bul me ay tan ko tel fon be kulungo nyin na kono so nala dia mo ay ne tan ko kulungo nyin mo keme konto be kulungo nyin kono so bar janni kulungo nyin wuli itel fon mi ta sirin kulungo nyin kono ba ka e katari ngamira nyankol le kono ten ni mangro fol kono katar mabol wol so itel meta kulungo kono le ngamira ta fona ta jibi ata batata le so bira batata so anata tra akata be talal amanna tano apuruna na shokon so birana tam muruna shokon o samula na tam pol ay tan dinna ko kulungu hulta ba flota jambi sorry kunu suto bari ndef ma be kulungu nyin kono bar mantano ka kun kulungu nyin momin be kulungu nyin kono asia batale mo nyin sembo warta so adum manna andi ka bla kulungu nyin kono so na ta nyin kan kulungu kono mo jalle konto ba la miro fe atana ta tan dinna ko nearly kabo like from 180 to nearly 200 plus be jel so but estimated number nying moro no ka siaba la ko ya wala ya kenen defon silanta so ay kulun ko ga idan man na ba ko nyon tele mo sabar mu na kai okay so we try to do research kulun nyin nakko so lokun killing because jama kulun na wulta na tata fay tili say tili kononto tili tang wato len telefonan ka kulun nyin nakko no because ngalon ni gambe jan ni kulun wulta gambia anyanta kala tili wara wula na siya bata tili wara wula lamu pour kulungo e wuli gambe ka futa tibabu du wala tili so bari na tambita wala dron akake problem mol so birin na ta understand okay nin kulungo bile mu tili kononto pour tili tan konto kulungo nyim manje so na ta minke same thing before it having kolla I was speaking with Alam Fun mi yalon ko be kulungo nyi nyine na ta kulungo nyi report Alam Fun ye kaytande Alam Fun la ko kulungo wota gambe jande bar kulungo nyim manje rabe yemandi sign bile keta tili konon toti man kulungo nyinje so nata kulungo nyin nata family million ke mo be ko kulungo nyin kenya nyin because mbole keno okay ni kulungo me wulta mun kulun sifala because Gambia the problem men asembo ka wara jang kulungo men ka wuli jay kata ini GPS o mu kata rete bulokon so ikata nzafu no e ka men ke kata kum fele e ka compasso la samba ko nunto tamala ka tamana nyame so sai dunia dum man tara position so im ka GPS o soto so jaman ka kulun no mo
la
nyame
min yalla ko malom memu GPS le mu comme ñing jamala bang machine jorangol di men ka silo itandi ha ka silo itandi
ka
ko
mun telefon a telefon malam ya a telefon ma beje mi yalon ko nabi bulo kono e be fanka so kono dawdan din walla be sahara dawdan din ni akumandiro ke rek insi kumandiro nyin tano ndefan kunu suto ndarta nyala fu fano keta ngamira bring 12 momo ka 6 hours leke kabo 12 o'clock kata fu 4 o'clock 6 o'clock somanda kunun telebe dun juti la alam fun so e bayila kulo kulun de fanka so kono bring Europe bang Africa bang moment di nata distress so problem wala soto so any communication nana don directly abenanteleka so jama system on nyimbo so we have a team me yalon ka shata mo keme fulat people are working all over the world many yalon they are working on alarm phone so kanan kanyo for in time on so nata kulungu nying brin nata kulungu nying report alarm phone kaitan ko kulungu ulta gambia wala kulungu nying mantar jeka today is 9 days so the only thing first thing gamenke no wala to verify it nin kulungu nyaadi le wulta like ala kola mu kulun kola nyaadi de kulungu nying mo konto jalle be yakono musu jalle be je ke jalle be je dindi woni jalle be kulun kon so we try to verify also nin kulungo me yalon ko bira wulta mum machine sifal le bala ngal fon salon horsepower sifa nyadi le bala because gambe jang nga faham ko kulungo men ka wuli jang ini 40 horsepower ka wuli ani 60 horsepower so 40 horsepower jama beje tilibulo le ka bori wal e ka tilo be bori horsepower la 40 horsepower la so suto e kana bori 60 horsepower so jama ni kulungo bota gambe jang ni tata dele ka kulungo track no nyam because ko bi mba fuka nyami man GPS so GPS system te de mi yalon ko ngaso to no so ndel fana ngam men keno ka kulungo jini because nya fono dole ya ke jahal so ngam no keno ka kulungo jini so ndel fana ko buka calculation mala ka terem okay sai nin kulungo dara mo keme fula mo tawro la labu so malo na sai ndindi jalle beje abe kole abala pour ngalo ndindi jalle beje but I will try fana nganna miro ke okay maybe ka dindi na dindi dul so dindi woni ni bol ngaji be ni dindi woni sio like la kulia betara jalle so ma try no la ngol la kulia jibe okay kebal min beje keba mo keme maybe what for fending they are more than 50 kilometers 50 kilograms so 50 60 70 80 100 so we try to balance this so ngaji be okay mol men kulia be jokono kulungo no mo jalle mu ini kulungo men yalon ko e betakan kulum fona heavy nyimbe nyadi la kulumba nyadi la mu ani sansi bidon jalle betel buru kulum kon ko sanso ko ngalon kulum because ne sanso ko jabe kuliala so sanso jalle beje so etele jio jalle use so we tried ngal kaya try le kanin le follow long ni ngani follow long akisi kisiro aka kole ya bakele mbulu bado prefer ni le follow long because ni mo dokul keno adi eni be men no mageta sudunol so ni na to jibe so we have to go back ngajibe okay in ulta kambe jallume how was the weather condition so we need to revise the weather okay weather condition betenne the windy fonyo membe jioko na betenne wala jibal membe jioko na betenne so we try to verify all this ningalo okay Gambia jan kabo Gambia kata Senegal ibe how many minutes la borno so sa kulungo be position mento abe kulia mento sa we already know that jibal nyimbe nyamin wave nyimbe nyamin nabe level dinde we already know that so fonyo fana mbenya di jokono we ningolom so say malo nale okay ni machine nangam karle be 40 or 60 lebe porka so we will know now the power mi yalan ko kulun kuno say 40 horsepower be jarle borno la in hour so this is how we know so nga kulun estimate ne ngalo know okay say kulun membota Gambia it's in this position at the moment
okay so if new information o based on isa long okay ni wati kat nangam kono kulun exactly. Nyong distance the body no Gambian in black at but on the issue of the boat nyin kulunga me alon ko wole wudu taten ya sata pour to mando bata mol me alon ko lel kafta masay Ebrima ko ye kibaro men so bolum ko kulunga wuduta kabirin June karo le kono June karo nyin kartam bila June karo til mo nin seyo bimu July karo til mo wati kulunga wuduta o June karo til mo nin seyo la abe bakono so la faka men nyininka wole mu kulungo nyim fo a confirm telephone sa ko indi no le ko a boydale bang fodron ko abe yemandi ne mo male be damendo
no kulungo mam boy kulungo nyim boy kulungo filitale nga men understand na kisi rol kono kulungo nyim bila tata wati men kulungo ya tilimua anin killing a wole ke joko sorry ni manyina kabo 28 29 30 ngamira mu tilifulalti from 30 to 19 that's 21 days kulungo 21 days ke joko so what we understand ko kulungo na engine le problem oso
okay
the engine ni problem oso so yala ne kulungo engine le problem oso sa kulungo te borno la because sa engine man der position ka so sa thing alkatari jibale wona bulu jibale wona katar kulungo move ka so gal tar to jibale wona bulu wala be kulungo move ka fo inata funte kununko so birin kununko e fundeta ne bin na kulungo nyin tombo bire kulungo nyin tombo anye de mala leje birin nye de mala leje wala ne bil kumande kayten ko kulungo be jang mi yalon koy batare so inata kulun kono wati men inata mo tan saba anin say yolo tari kulun kono min yalon ko wol kende mala tan saba sorry mo tan saba ni woro wula so mo tan saba ni say nyam yo furel tari kulun kono bari 234 people men yalon ko wol be fatale so ni men fatay ko jolon jolo ko because silo nyimbo nyal wala beje momon nim fata ke jolon jolo ko because ni ma mo jolon jolo ko no the reality is ni tebe siring ina be ni membe siring a fatala fure be bala maybe ita fon ko be wulale wala fure ina bala re bala so be it can give you another traumatized or thing so mo tan keme fulo mo tan sabani nano yol jolon joko so bi jolon joko mo kilimo men ino furata e be reski ka wati men wati Senegal kilim fana nata bank ina ro Senegal kino bondije so o kola bi reski nyum fananke e gawol samba dron bi futa lo kanu don Gambian boy kilim fana beje men tom Suleiman Jallo to fana nata bang. So wala nata ke kulon nyin kono only signed 36 people le baluta. So Suleiman Jallo fana me ya longo hani sign mala family no, but what we understand ani dol boy do kulun kono me ya itande mo la ko Suleiman Jallo nyin bota farafenyel sorry Brikamba.
So seda wala le nyin sede ako wo mo kemeni fengol be membe kuno kono kilim fatale.
Yeah, konko ni mindola. 21 days is not 12 10 days because men kake ni jio banda domoro banda because italika jio men konto bula comme ba estimate ke nyami ika jio men bula kulun kono wala mu 7 days jio ko bula jio ko e kulun kon 7 days domoro ko bula kulun kon so sainte ni 7 days o banda sain 7 days domoro al yakele okay but saying you put another 7 days that's 2 weeks saying the following 7 days ita do domoro kika another 7 days for 2 weeks because say ni na estimate domoro fon Kenya la ninjio Kenya ni moli men yalon ke baluta nsafu no blokum fula ibe jele mi yalon ko konko ni min dorbe because already la job because 21 days like so it means you need domoro men tata only 7 days left so 7 days on you useless sign but sign 20 other 14 days on men nata kiji they are out of water they are out of food I don't even know how they survive so another so nata understand every rescue what mean nata funti nta somanda juno mbeja nga kibaro soto from the navy from the Mauritanian authorities kaitan ko kulungu felenta fundita nwadi sainteng bar kulungu nyin abodana sere kundal so then I go back to my calendar was checking man kibaro soto kulungu ta sere kundal but sometimes it's happened because Gambian sign kulung be wuli kan is aka kole sometimes defan kulung do muka kalamut ngala jere mole on kuma ni ko nyebra kulung funde jana pema kalamut so it's always like that so nata menke no wala mitiko nata Gambia president soto Nwadi bu meyalo ko ka fay Nwa Jammeh is a very good guy Valli nga ala tentu wala bake Nwa is president wala ko Gambia de on lebe sirinji yake tombo yake nyakam pot but Nwa sign I can say more than this past 7 years kulum bota Gambe jang na wala Senegal ni Gambe dum ba ko that man is always there to help these people so mbejele I call Nuwa ngai tan dal Nuwa kulum bota Gambia sainte kulum ni muda yakala mutalba ako nyen so some minute so mbeje tron some minute an call na ko nya okay yeah restore from plenty restore na tal ngai okay but be restore na ngai restore 34 people 38 people ko no kulum buga wuli jan 38 people so I make a research and make
what tan stati edo what tan saboni seyo wollel ni la matara kulungo kono
wollo ni la matara kulungo kono wolle balut so bare be ngata eto nyinje na taji bi bar kulungo mem boto janno sainteng mfona ta fo okay kulun nan lebe je midan ko be filli bari dol ñin we already announced that those people will exam stelete balurin mi yanon ko mem wulta capturing ani mem wulta jafran katom balajam so sainteng we know okay kulum fulal be mistring kulum me wulta banjul on the first because we don't move for tilimuan jomala ba fono le balurin but we are still making research so ninga kulum pan
so ninge fahami be mem fokan ko ñimmanke ñing kulungo mem finda Mauritanie teng ate kola kulundol lel fana mududa Gambia men be yemandi fanka so kono ñintemmen
kulundol fana be je me yalon ka be misrin sainte mo keme mo tan sayde be kulungo ñin kono a wulta banjul on the first Gambia do men fana bo kulungo kono it's like 98 or 99 Gambians are in that boat o kulungo fana be yemandi ne 2 days 20 days so we don't even know their fate are they still alive or where are they we don't even know but we are still making inquiry but we go back to this so nata jawal men kulung do biri nata faham kulung nyin ka fa mutan so nata mandiro ko teke so nuana ta funye I will go there mfa jibe so biri nata ko la funye Ibrahima science tembe janne bari Gambeno do banta right now thing bari what we understand in Gambeno mem banta he is another family bile tata nyona kulung kono 4 of his family including him but 4 of his family will be mannapalu. So, scientific farm, we couldn't find anyone in this place at all. Brikamba, who can verify, who can tell us, Ebrima, okay, in Suleiman Jallo, because Malo. But what we understand, what I mean to go, at another family built the Japan. So 4 of them.
Another family coming, another dingo lulembang for coming.
Okay, they remember the Amaka, I met at a meet and in a woman to another family. So we believe ala be kala muso na demonte walla demolish exactly but what we understand from someone me yan ka fana be kulun kono ate fami hospital at the moment why then wole bo ni recommend kay tan ko bo ni bodo brikam bala tay bo ni Suleiman atoti Suleiman Jallo another family be be monan but those people couldn't make it so we try to bring o kibaro soto ngal nen ko ni wati nyatale so we nata ko de kam mutani authority command ka jibi okay nim kulun me yalon ko wulta sainte na kalon sign nim kulun okay because I called Nuha, Kaitan Nuha, okay, Kulungo Bejan Wulta Bato Kun, sorry, Bafuloto, and Kulungo Bejan Wulta Banjul, we need to verify him, go to Kulungan Dula Fulo Kuna Bora Kilinoto, because Kulum Fulo the Yemen design. So Brana, you are not when Kulungan Bota around, I don't know, Kuloro, kind of Kuloro Kulumawul. Akonyo Dole Beje, because Along sometimes more Dulalo, Sutole gave somebody you do Kulum Kondo Tekatad. So you don't even know people can bend. So, but don't have a kind of we okay mamul kulur multa buffalo. So black when you buffalo and kai that's it. So on that right and the Murka Kulun you there are 270 people minimum to Kulun. Because in Buffalo to Kulun, in the form of number sotel agent told and number so the Baraka back and Fali. Sometimes Mukaru no fu jaw eka jawya lebang, fake on like a queabang, Femuneka Kebba fake a cylinder munum. Italy ka wakile ka kodota bol bulu mo ka kodo jong ya ne kodo jo me kata ni tata kulum ka miss ni kulum filter kulum man kenona the only thing those agents they come to us Ebrima kulum me wulta jana well because sinta kan na fo na man ka police I'm not part of security any issue the humanitarian I have my own foundation what we do is to look for the migrants so but these people to come out to give us information kulum wulta janne okay kulum me wulta de yes ndalla kulum mo nanga mu karle beji kulum ni because when you give us the information akasoni antel fanam bundo ko kulum fango ni but when now keta drong ibeka bor nde agent ni ko ndela number chika because nde hanni ndiam tay kan kon sutel because our formal ko ni bebejel they are listening but even the nobody ndela ninga call they don't pick it so nganne tan dila ite mo la dimul bula no la jiyo ko ni tayo yemang so manam fe fanan ka chawle wani tata kulung yalne sai atinyata ko goni banjul kulung ko yamen ting well for me like at the moment 99% so those people are out we don't finish the inquiry yet me menke kan but in on my own personal experience in tambita kulung membel because still mo ambi today still mo membe balu la still mo yes it's balu ndol ci balu no bari mo jalle be faado ko special so agent ni ka borin agent ni ka bodle so they don't come out kai tan dilen be ke because ni na da e konte na kulum ni kulum be ten na la kenya be ten instant ndeka fanan ka sapero kele we have a group many are ko men be German Sweden Norway because Europe down and we have alarm phone Africa down and we have alarm phone so we are communicating whatever is happening adu rescue team men fanan be joko no port Spain both international Mediterranean Atlantic they are all part of this so ninga sapero han science and they sapero ke de kulon wulta gammel this is the so every institution of the joko no Mediterranean they all know that ka kulon wulta gammel wala this is never happening but agent is very difficult to get that information from them they always run away from you so ajama be jakana masibole because ni mira pa mo keme fula mo tawro wala yoke kulon ko but sometimes ngam fana understand eka agent because last time it's happening in Ginek mfonda jele ngaje agent mi yalon ka tel kulun program with only 150 people awlo kala kulun pro men total but agent for they have these small agents men yalon ko menga mo ni so what small agent e kaje wori fane mo fula mo saba do mo nan tat mo lundat so when they bring those people ila captain ul fana ni captain ul fana mena e ka captain doji captain do fana ala mo saba nata la family captain do fane mo saba mo nan nat so e bayila agent of sorry agent of agent of telephone momin nanga mota pour ka dundi so ka tara ko tambi wala because ata fona ko sher demande woni ani captain ul foni wala be ka mol nat nan men ko ira wala ka kulum nying ta ka asem mo warande mo ka sia anu ni kulum sia ta ni da badala so ite ka jele okay kulum sia ta ban ta muru la mo kilin nan le ka muru comme nga boy do men ta fete so ite ka jele jang okay nun to kulum gon ron full mam coming to Europe am coming so pour ite ajite fundi yesa isu kono in the next 1 week yamwele etajita kulum ko those people are in Europe so ibay la nin ka fi fenti mi yalon ko wala kana ka kole akoti adiamu ka sia ba system ni ka tatlado
but Ibrahim haye pem fo jang abala fa warata comme même fo agentol buka sonna ka information dial atariata nyamin but mem fa and ngamira mbengalo ne menke sabu because obviously ibi yalo no ko be menke ka manke ku baraka mari jama jama ye molu muda mo keme kemolu molu men yalon ko ito lel siara ito lel kuliyata katambi kulungo nyim famati yewol muda yewol be soso nyokan kulun kilingo kono kulun ninkingo kono andu ika domoro fanandi domoro men bukasi so la fa ke nyin ka menna fo munatin na ninyu bita they don't because it ibita kan silo men kan it na mana silo nyinta commando iman silo nyin na jam folon dolbe je kono fango wolma lon fango be sambala nyame muna atinna ibuka domoro siandi ni nga tare be wudu day bita muna ne buka domoro siandi foy ka tili woro dama keta ka tili woro domoro dama ni kulungu bula kata because ita bita kan silo men kan imalo munduma le be futala imalo ita man silo long ena mana silo ta imala jam folon ye tili woro domoro sika yala mo keme fula mo tawlulu ni fembulu muna ne ko ke
yeah hadumo rek because what we understand well, I'm even getting a call from alarm phone because they are telling me it's an emergency. I don't know if you can give me 2 minutes. I can back to you. Yes.
Of course. Take your time. Take your time. Baringolu ning Ebrima migration situation lebejang. Ebrima migration situation kalia alo nyaming ate kamamam karo menna wole mu nying demaroti menkake nying duma silo la karola ninata nying mol men ka duma silota ka nying Europe bankol ta ke waling ate ning mollel be do ko wala men yalon ko dunia be ben kalia mo nyame ka fe ko alarm phone wala do ko momenti wala mu kaje ko de ye tara fanka solu kono jibe kanke hakilotu je mol men yalon ko lel ka kulun ningol ta ko ka tubabu dula bayndi Europe ni kulun ningol la ni alam fun katara lori wala la kola e ka information ni kibaro lu ta mol bulu dunia karo bela isaje nin kulun wulita isi mako no nyamen kaje ko de ye mako tarata nyamen isaje accident kana soro ni ko kana soro je Ibrahima ni wala be do kola aho wala ba kol kan abe wala ko to kan nyin tembenna bari ka hakilo bandoron ko me men ko kacha kan jang e ko kulungole wuduta wulita kabo Gambia atara a filta Mauritania ni Gambia tema ya tani je ko kulungo ye tili muang anin kilin neke fankaso kono men siata mo keme fula mo tan sabati wollel be kulungo kono bari ya tani je ko kabrin tumo men na kulungo findita Mauritania kabrin tumo men na findita ba kono sojarulu kamen be Mauritania e ko mo ye moment nanka motra kono mantambi mo ni la ma seyla jiko be je ko mo keme saba mo keme fula nim feng wulu be fatale ko Ibrahima ya fa nyame ni be nyin kulungo kono nim mo fata doron e kete mari bondire ye fay e jikitela ko mo keme fula nim fengolu be fatale ye be kilin bondi ye fay ba kono kulungo nim mo sey wallel findita atenyi mortani la balu kono ko kibarolu ya itandi nyame na mentata kanyam fo mo sey wo bala fa warata ani ku ya warata kadum Ibrahima ning akuke nyol be jikiri menna wala muko tumando bata domorole banda kulungo kono kadum jama Ibrahima ko ninyin kuluntiol be wutula tili woro wala domoro anin jio min jio e ko wala ninyin kulungol bulayta ite mira tili woro wala itol be yilla kan ko nyanta futala inata tili muwan nim feng ke ba kono fankaso kono e be wiri warala Gambia ni Mauritania ni Senegal la fankaso kono iman silo bondino mbole ko kacha kan den nyin dembe na kabula ko nyin noma ka damo bondi ninga Ibrahima soto jam be Ibrahima selendila nasina nga ko nyin kacha bari hani bin safa la doron kal kanata dularo fanam nga kacha kote mem fanan kerekera le jam wole mu kachati me alon ko ning ambassador Essa Bokar Sey nyanta wala sotla rekera moti me alon ko te mu moleti menna londo lukata bake ninata banku la badi ya temo bari fanan tanko la karola banku tema ate ka mama woleto akata modi malon kan na kita Gambia ambassador di kata ateni France banko kan America jang ay do ko fanan ke Gambia la mission men filentin Taiwan and bla ko tamolto nata fanan ninke bangan sunyanta men kachala ke bangan sulemu at Kamba Times la reporter di me nying Gambia Senegal sojaro la boyin kango Bullock baraso kanga tele akibaro nyin janjam ni wol bebi na men kachala wole mu nyin Gambia ni Senegal la nyi banku ku problème oti e ko fo nyi ko la fanam kena ku problème fan nata wuli CRR e ka fo dinkira me ko jimbala ker Musa e ko Senegal sojerolu e ninkiri joramolu findita jimbala ker Musa molu kan ka fo ko jemu Senegal bankoleti ka fo ko wo kenolu itul kata kunkolu menute ka do ko keje ka fo ko mallafi ye muruje koteke ka dun jemu Senegal bankoleti be ambassador Essa Bokar Sey katakan ninga a soto doro nga selendi tumando bato nase kacha nying dati nga bula kacha nying kono bari hani bi doron ko nga fa nyame nga Ibrima soto jang Ibrima be jang hani bi ate nala molel be nyomo kan kulungo la kola kulungo me alon ko ibe wala ko kiskis kan Gambian Mauritania tema kanata handulato ko nga itandi nyamen na tol men ben jibe kan radio to nga mo jama ja tol men faram ben jibe kan online men studiata mo kemena la men be bulakan no ma nyin tembenna nga modo soto jang ate ko very sad men keda Malik Fatidi nga Mariama Jallo soto ate ben doli jibe kan ate duye me itandi ate faram be jang. So Mojama ben jibe kan a lot of people reacting to the story. Idrissa Sadio ko my suggestion is Ebrima Drammeh have to share information with the authorities if you know migrants' departure points and time if you want to save life. Basically, I remember fokat la miroro ning Ebrima e ko keso soro anyantale a kibaro futandi atan banko tanko bundamo bari gamara Ebrima nyol fana nasilanda ka mendi wolum ko ni agentol ning kuluntiol ka alonko ni kibaro di Ebrima la aba fula man sakunda tanko bundamo le tumando baro ifanante ikono coming it information dilala I guess, but it's a very sad situation. So mbe kelanga ambassador Ebrima Essa Bokar Sey jam nate se tenten kachala follow fo janning mbe Ebrima selendi nola jan koreke ambassador ngeje ngetendu iwato menta kakafum Bitilo program to jam. You know, we were discussing a very tragic incident men sort of make ko kulungola bota Gambia mo keme fula mo tansaba nim femba kono akulungo yemanta Gambia Mauritania nin Senegal fankaso kono tili mo nin kilinga wala ke ba kono abe filiring kulungo nyintara finti Mauritania ni lungol kono mo sey wala mala tuta kulungo kono ni lama mo sey. So maybe to start the conversation this year, I can ask probably, you know, if you want to share your reaction, and then we can look at this Foni incident.
Yeah, Fali, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Bemem fola wolemu. Yalo nyim fanka so nimbakwe talalu. Balafa warata bake Fali. Balafa warata bake. Near turning historical perspective la. Ya meaning philosophical mindset la. Ibajibe la ko. Nyimba meta Africanol domalale. What is sort of told history nga moiko sharks sort of Gore Island because in Namol ike tambi di ka for damage to a door of no return. So ikamol 5J. I mean you saw the movie, I'm pretty sure Roots. Okay, machinery alangalo ne what for na Roots befindila ngamol dolo mamira wolbe dunia konos. Machinery akaneto. Maria Pallon. You know, so it was in 77. So but now look at it, Fali. Now the death in the Atlantic is voluntarily. Before it was forced. Slavery. Ike capture ye tambi ye faba kono sainu dolfon la molle lafta tala. But the often ni ajibe is sad. This reason why I'm bringing the past plus the present to this is that we need to understand the causes and the effects. Before, the causes were forcefully captured. Now the forces, we are forcefully captured by economic hardship. You know, so the solution to this, you are doing a very important role because the media, it only nyimbe janjanga, because ni media tenu njanyin dunia bekawa kula bake because media aliye janjang homenke nyina dunia be along wala can be more be along kofang back way media metal. I know something that you wrote, others did. I would say sural ka alama to our journalists. If not, it would just die on the underneath and nobody would even know about it.
Yeah.
So the advocacy should continue, the sensitization should continue. It may interest you to know that on this last Friday, nga ba tay tata North Bank defon wulu dulani defon. Na meeting okay in Essa Nema. And one of the the woman there came and recognized me and the Fourth Gambia movement and said, you guys came here months back and then brought us money to make us understand that you feel the death of our son or maybe a daughter or their children who died in the sea. The lady was there in the meeting on this past Friday. So we are fully involved in trying to find who to assist. We don't want to mention the names of the people we assisted. So I know about it because I know people. I mean, anybody who is from North Bank, SAO, Mayamba, Bakindiki, Katafo, Jokadu, I mean, Hanime Mari Long, you feel geographically that particularly you and I, we are related. So it is sad, Sir Fali.
It's very sad.
I feel very emotional when I am talking about this. Yeah.
Back if Anikuya Waratale, especially if I Nyamin, Konko Yefa, Konko Anim Mindo, like 21 days in this at sea. But this year, so thank you very much for your reaction to this story. I want us to look at the Foni incident me along Kole Sorada. Menketa attending Senegalese Lanyin Sojarol Timeni Alonko, will Findita. Tenyim Bullock Military Camp je ya dadi fensolu boy nga kibar jamal jeje about that incident. So nga Kebba Ansu soto jang Kebba Ansu Manneh is the journalist atele mu kiba talari même following kibaro janjang online atebe do Kamba times le atele fana ye video nyinta findindi nyanda ka Kebba Ansu soto num on video le but network mantra o sahari mbake wala we are just going to have a quick catch up with him so that we can establish the facts and then ambassadors and market analysis. Keba, after the drum, Yemolu Samba Queen that la Lumen and Kwokera, July Carotil Tani Worola, Nin Atra Nahaimaro is right. It's have a mole menketanu in Bullock Military Camp today, Memfelenting Foni, Cabin to Momena, Senegalese, Sojarulu Findita, Jamolkan. Keba, never. Yeah, it looks like we are having difficulty with Kebala internet. I'm talking internet with Jaran Kayala, I think, at the moment. But we will try. But this year, just to come back to you, Janimbe Keba Sotala, because kumo demanding do Sotale, nga menu long, wala mo men kweta manyin dem na wala mo so be Senegal. So jero findida foni konole. It Arab block to the military post. Lafake nyininka menna, how unusual is it to have a foreign military ye wandi ko na banko so jarulu soto ka findina wandi banko kan imandan kadum banko da ma fon kono de bari yeta fo wandi sojar kampo de kela fensol boy. How unusual is that?
Well, Fali, there is what they call surgical operation, and then I would call it surgical analysis. We have to be balancing between causes, effects, and then we have to think about approach la nyameng, I will be from emotions ko Gambian ole monti tendinte be objectively, nyeng manke sinya follow today. In the mid and late 70s, might have been little, but we have the story when Senegalese soldiers entered into the forest in Jokadu through Toro Alassane. That was Senghor's time. People can make a research. In any Dunta Gambia kono. It was so tense in the Gambia at that time. In fact, at that time, we had the field force. Okay. So amanke sinya follow. But this kind of intrusion, well, today ngamem kalamuta anene mang soto. But if there have been cleavages, border-related cleavages during Jammeh's time. In fact, as recent as 2021, somewhere around that, we all remember the problem that happened in Foni with the drones and all that stuff. People had to intervene. I would say salute to the former chief of Foni, Biran Kamara. He did a very wonderful job. You remember when they captured the Alkali under the former, I think they said he's still an active agent of the SIS or maybe something like that. You know, I saw them when they released them. Yeah, they were being processed at the Ministry of Interior. I went there and I saw them. So the border-related, tensions have just been on between Gambia and Senegal, but the nature of it this time is definitely worrisome. And then what they call cartography, topography, and whatever they call that, Baitho, whatever, Bathi, whatever, about the nautical, will be manjari kanati jana. Bari, Nika jibe, mapo be nyameng, demarcation on long, exactly Senegal dantajan, exactly Gambia dantajan, aka kwale ya bakene. So there, I think I definitely, Fally, out of respect for you, I just said to some people, I'm not going to analyze this situation at all. But you and I we have something that really, that brings us together, not only about, because I just said to myself, I'll just give up on advising security-wise about this regime. Whatever they want to do, let them do that. Because you advise people who listen to advice. Some of us are not bluffing, but I'm being listened to in the US, I'm being listened to in Senegal. Other people like me who are Gambians who could advise. But if there is a system that believes that they will only listen to XYZ, and then security is everybody's business. It is not few people's business, it's everybody's business. So it's not bad to use your listening skills, because how many times have I said, it's less than 2 months ago, I wrote it, I said, Gambia should be careful of border dispute tensions, tensions related to oil, the oil deposits. I said that. And transnational, I would cross-border crimes. We should be an ethnic, conflicts, religious conflicts. I listed those, and border was one of those. It's one of the most delicate things to handle. It's very dangerous. Nobody should play with something like that. So for me, it's like knowing the gendarmerie of Senegal, how professional they are, knowing the Senegalese army, knowing how professional our Gambia armed forces also is. I feel sorry for both sides, where any conflict was to happen between them simply because of demarcations and politics. I don't think they will enjoy being the authors of certain things. But my advice to both sides is that let them understand where the Gambia and Senegal fail to reason between them, where they fail to live together amicably, then African Union has no hope.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's just whether or not the authorities listen, just keep writing. Because people benefit a great deal from it. But this year we have Kebba Ansu back on the phone. If you can just hold on a second.
Yeah, no problem. My greetings to him. He's doing a good job.
Yeah, Kebba, Ambassador is saying hello to you. Bari la fa ke ñinin ka menna mbe ñinin ka no menna janni la no be kuntla wala mu ise dinka moli ko la kono men alon ko la sota julay karoti tani worola ba Bullock Military Camp bin Senegal sojerol findita je men keta wo dinkira do afo asa wo bo moli ñoto please.
Okay, thank you very much. On the 16th, Dolna report soto. Alkamba Times newspaper, there is, a tension going on. Senegal Sorrasol will nata for Bullock, Ami Campo Membie, a pencil boy. So a video kinye, a message kinye. Orialan Doladuko as reporters Doladuko Tambida information or senyarek. Nia senye fonsibula noma ngaku kisi. So na ferol ke kajifa mo visit kajibi tinyaro nyina alhalo nyimbe nyame. But is very sad as a Gambian. Yaje more than 200 meters of fence. And when you fence all their high fences, among the coming compound fence, it's like more than 10, 12 blocks, bricks, so yajibi fanang over 200 meters. So akuna rake pija para bati because mune bangketa Senegalese nata je nyame dum ta je nyame ni de mari ye witness e balo na ko nyulman na compromise kula jam so bari tango ndol la military nata ke multi million ko ye famuta ye situation no nying emang clear because nyul amri bandingol nata they are well they are one can say by observation ni isa ko no le ko nyul pare nyul nata kelole la e man na coming fence boy kuda mala because ning Gambia army lafti block la at that point like avec la massive bullet so personally when I reach on the ground ngaji situation of nyaming I feel very sad ngalon ko dal our army definitely they exercise restraint and they show professionalism because they show professionalism because ngalongo however it may be no matter how one may mobile interpret la nyame pour mo na haratale lo idun dala korral kono pura na ayla bla boy anyanta tarla anyanta denna sartol ka anyanta denna luwal ka
baki fa
andum niya munya ko fanan kiju farande niya jibe Gambia ni Senegal over the years the agreement jamal la sign including security agreement. We have an established secretariat also, which we call the Gambia Senegalo Secretariat or Senegalo Gambia Secretariat, which is functional. They have offices in Banjul, they have offices in Dakar. And also, I know there is a good relationship between the army hierarchy and the Senegalese hierarchy. They have an established protocol between them. So your body will be a so you kumel donya Purukana fully armed and dressed inside the Gambia, is very painful and shocking.
Okay.
But our military officers on the ground, they have advice, according to them, they have advice to restrain calm, and just to monitor what these people are doing.
Okay.
Because
okay. Abaraka Kebba yasata komen Senegalese sojerolu nata nyaming akija farana warata bakele e koy ita fongata le fo dinkira nyindo enin jenko le diamata enin sojerolu kajada so lafa ke nyininka menna fo ngalo ne bang Senegalese sojer jellel dundanan anu nin joron sifal mem fo nata enin sarto kombal nata bang enin ilani desert fox pick up wol nata bang ni anti machine gonolu iso fo mo le no nyoruma.
Well, yalon tol mom kilolo mbake bari ngalon ko e ka mo meli tankal. Eni tankal natale eni bulldozer nata eni pickupol nata and they are all well harmed. Even the pickups they have they are all well prepared. Will be kidul sotol mel pixiri la pickupol bala. And we saw for the number of military personnel men nata is more than 50. It's more than 50 military officers. Many they are all fully armed. And then Amanda Wofala in Bagasol Melnara, Isalonko, they are really ready for any eventuality. If suppose Gambian army they take only one step, there is going to be a chaos there. So Bari coming, Ambassador from California, Yimboda Ku be kuta yindi and mol fanang on the ground, Yemem Dani Masakundabul. Well Masakunda Terol Kebang. Iba jibera ebenyim boda ku iba solve nyame once and for all. Because kule me alonko a problem o made a bakele ngamira nita the record solto it started around 1971. Gambian in Senegal nyim boda ku problem o. But during that time, Jawrata handle nyame diplomatically at a handle world. At one point, the matter was up to UN level. So that was how Jawara was taking it. I problem them also through diplomatic channels. Then we have a break for some time when the confederation came. But Nigeria Catholic Gambian come to power again. The same thing is coming up. But this time, it is totally in a different way. Because this time, they come for war. The Senegalese army were prepared for war. They come for war. Just fortunate for us is that our militaries, they comport themselves, they show professionalism, and respect. So
Lafta, yeah, okay, go ahead. Because Lafa ke nyini kanu menna wale mo puru ise afo molie block be siri nyameng fo nyikono. Anim fanang mune ya itandi muna atna Senegalese ya muta coming benyin dinkira même fo kan DJ be Senegal le kono. Can you tell us, you know, and how far did the Senegalese come? Bullock be nyadile iso bo mole.
Bullock is the first village. Ni no near Combo Bank. When you finish Combo stop at after Kafutai. When you are going towards Soma, you have Sanyenye. After Sanyenye, you have a forest park. After the forest park, the first village you have in Foni is Bullock. So
Bullock mu mana kan sato le mbang fo ka jile dun kono.
Abe mana silo le kan Bullock be mana sila bale kan. Bari yalo Gambia la border be nyame ni man Gambia long. Ake asi confusing di. But Gambia la border be nyame bladol bi. Janiba for 500 meters. Bladol bi Janiba for 200 meters. Bladol bi in Foni. Nitara Bladol to in Foni along the border line. Nitara ji Corral be Gambia kono. Jonkongol be Senegal kono. Ela kankango be Senegal kono. Ela korda be Gambia kono. So nyim Foni la nyim border line o 3 quarter. Abe be wala nya. Isi tara Gambia ita fango talo na sa même pango ku fango gena confusing di because ni dada on the ground e ka border posol bijele ye pego law border to bari sa ni nada jibe Senegalel mantraw pego ni mantraw jibe ka because ibe men jibe ka sign the wala GPS so GPS ma bo ni ka me use yo woman factor nyadile. Is Gambia part of that? Kabiru we design la. Is Gambia part of that? Those are the critical concepts because ni dara hani kudun fanga story men bango report. Ni ajibe lower side.
Tande négociation la
Amasoli ya fo yiku ukunkoli kaneduku. Bari ni dara ukunkol to wol kabdo ko kedamen Jimbala Ker Musa. Ker Musa. Ani Jimbala France tema. Pego le biye ne Jimbala Ker Musa la kunkol bandoron e ka pego le so nte fonga la for year before last. I knew that this day will come because that time there was an issue with villagers only mentioned with our chief. You know, because in a dinigol, most of Jimbala France, in a dinigol, Kata Jimbala Leka, Ekela school in
Gambia side.
Gambia side, Ekela Kolte all. So, signing Senegal in 2 years old Konole Yasta. This is year before last, is the first time Senegal Nata Jekapoko, Utomafo be Jana. But in Migara, Sademoli is a vacation, but pego to a pego bije. If pego jala between Gambia and Senegal, but inside pego they say no, woman get boranindi because now they are going through the GPS.
Okay,
so it's complicated. It's really complicating the situation, the border situation.
So based on the reporting though, in Senegal sojarole, it will tell the wrong if intita na molu kang Bullock kono bang fo ye dandalaro kele ye na molu kalamatan le koy binale bang kanyum fen solo boy.
So far, so good. The information we gather from both the military side and from the community side, from the chief and everybody, nobody was informed that they are coming. Senegal man informed, more informed. So a press release, after doing the activity, in a press release, but prior to the press release, none of those people were alerted that Senegalese are coming here. And Gambia have authorities. Senegal tata from a decision before they will encroach into Gambian territory. Because area e come for the Gambian or say for ya compam la ko to bebe Gambia le. Men wuluda je be wol wuluda le ko ye je kara ko bebe Gambia le kono. And pego bijele me alon ko identify between Gambia and Senegal. But as I tell you, Senegal is now in a situation of Yemen. They are not looking at these specs anymore. They are going by the GPS map. So the GPS map, I think Gambia government, Gambia government, any problem or solve. In yanta jibe ni Senegal be nyomo la nyame, ya jibe ebe borderline on yi ba drola nyame. Because I come to say there are two parallel borderlines. The other one is the colonial pegs, which has been there. Upegol bijele, nini villages on jam, they can pegol bijane, the ning independent of the colonial master in pegol kia. So one sign, Senegal government of recent, they are going by the GPS. So it means we have two parallel lines we have two separate borders between Gambia and Senegal.
Membe mutarin Gambia bulu. Membe mutarin Gambia bulu ani membe mutarin Senegal bulu.
Membe mutarin Senegal, membe mutarin Gambia bulu. Wala border pegol me yalo ko yelo. Colonial masali mello between Gambia and Senegal. Wo pegol be jele. And either block, they will take you up to those pegs.
Okay.
Neither lower salon, the same thing. Neither upper salon, the same thing.
Okay.
But Senegal, they are no more using that peg. Now they are going by GPS. Can they company GB? In here, GPS, Mabo GB, I come for a temal. When Campo Coma, border in the world, well after the camp, that's where the border is, that's where the peg is. So saying, peg all of the Taliban for GPS, Mabo, you will have a Talasai. That is the confusing part we see ourselves in right now.
So, Kebba, Allah fa kenyi ninga menna, biri nyimbekela.
Yes.
Na Gambia sojarula, kete nyala la bang fo komeng, akeda tere makule di biring Senegal befenso boila momentara nunje. How was it and what was the reaction of na Gambia sojarula ninga atara nyingeda? Because akamta ko nga reporting doleje, nga mira kwenyi kering kola lem sate umulu nata authority sol kalamdan. I don't know if that is true. But tell me, biring abe boy kang, fon na banko kantiolu, sojar kunda ya ko kibaro sotere, biri ya ko kibaro sotere, muneke je fana.
Because like I tell you, there was no notification. In writing to inform them that this particular day it will sit like in Atabam. Yeah, start they don't even greet them, contact the VJ, they just come straight. Well, I'm going na muslahala, ni na muslahala, ni na mola sokono. Ekatale yaka sutu na follow nyininka. Ni sutu nyininka, then isa fae, muna mwirela dalilodi. Iya fa ina ta munala kube meten ko min banko fulo tema at least by the right ni na re agenda na military officer may be but unfortunately it's a small camp me alonko is less than 30 personnel. These people who are doing only you cannot compare their arms to Senegal, so you cannot fight them. Momenting be can call nada in the combat nada. Anti-aircraft missile weapon or not. Well, even in AK-47, you cannot stand in front of those people. They can burn you. The whole camp, they can burn it. I think go. So that's why in other Yami, in the same way, in other with their preconceived mind, this is what we are going to do. So authority that go there, you do this and you do this. So authority that is the question mark now.
Because so but memena I know mbe DCO sotalare ate nying kolu fahamle but biring akwo keta na banko sojer kunda did they take any move because you will think that do safo no le fanko dinga taran ko men fani hakilima mantanu je do safo no le ko as soldiers responsible for defending Gambia you will take a position minko kunata ko madron weke. But I just want to know, from the sojarolu, molel kwe kana kuke jebang for how did they handle the situation?
According to the soldiers, I was privileged to engage. It all when these people come, what they supposed to do, want them to alert their high command. They alert the high command that the Senegalese are here. They started on their destruction and they are fully armed here. But the advice they get from the top is to calm down, that they are going to handle the matter. Let them just calm down and restrain. They are going to take the matter. So this is why our soldiers, they cannot do anything because everything is command. But after that, military up to today did not come with any press release. They did not come with anything.
No, I was even going to ask because na akala mo telephone ko diri ko kera na sugar kunda na jele ko chief of defense staff tata min jele min ko me nyato ka sugar sala man sakunda para na karola banko alpha do tare jele fo man sakunda ni Gambia Armed Forces ye fenna ko min ko do
But their visit, I was not privileged to be part of their visit. So I don't know during their visit what they spoke with the army or the personnel on the ground. But what I know up to date, the military did not come with any statement condemning the action of the aggression or to express their position. What next? Because the place right now is like, I mean, I think at the end of the day, they have to relocate them. Because how the place is now, they are more vulnerable. Because they can secure them now. Anybody can attack them anyhow. So it's more risk for them. Right now, they are in more risk. Those they are right now, they are very vulnerable. That is the situation. And often now, there is no single statement from the military. And I think they should communicate with the public. Because people in Foni right now, they are very confused. Not only in Foni. Because we have seen the same speed the same issue going on in Lower Salon, the same issue going on in Jara, in Upper Salon, and we have seen the same thing going on in Combo East. Because Kafuta up to Dansilame N will be more hot zone. The Senegalese are still persistent that those areas are part of their territory. And right now, as they come now, it seems there is nothing like compromise. Unless government come out or the military take their position and ready to defend the country, because that is where they are. That is their purpose.
Okay, Kebba, just
defend a country.
Yeah.
When you don't have arms, they don't have arms.
So just
provide arms for them.
Just one last question before we let you go. When Birita on block dingol diameter njikita aning maybe kanti ol men yalon ko lebe saro kono ye muna foye about ning ko roje.
They are very concerned because this has never happened according to them. This type of scenario, Senegalese never come there from independence to date. Senegalese never make claim of those territories. So they are very surprised. And also, as I tell you, the pegs are there, the border pegs are there between Gambia and Senegal. For them, those pegs are the borderline. That is what they know as borderline. But right now, Senegalese are not going by that. So they are very concerned. Because when it's not going to end at the camp. So it may affect the villagers also. The villagers also will pay the price. Because when they go to the camp, they now inside the village. It's just a stone throw. So they are very vulnerable right now. The best thing, what step the government going to take, that is their concern. That is their worry. Whether government is going to take any step to address the situation. Because you cannot massage it and these people come, destroy all the fences and go and leave the things like that. It cannot go like that. You must come out with a position. You must engage the Senegalese to know and then to come in between.
Okay.
But then up to now we have not seen that. The Senegalese are saying from the Senegalese side, they said they have been engaging Gambia government. But Gambia government never engaged its citizens as far as these issues are concerned. But the Senegalese, if you take their press release, they are saying that they have followed all the necessary protocols. When they follow all the necessary protocols, that means Gambia government is 100% aware of what is going on right now. But they are not taking any action to stop the problem. Maybe
so what ikam mem poting Senegal abota Senegal la sujel kunda la bam la mansa kunda. Ani ninga telephone ise one last question. Isa abu mo le ñoo Senegal ye mem fa ñing ko.
Senegal foreign affairs wala statement of bondi. Senegal foreign affairs wala statement on ana kantandiko. Action on prior before action on killer. They have taken all the necessary protocols and they have been engaging Gambia government, but Gambia government is not taking any action.
Wow.
As far as they are concerned. Gambia government is not taking action, and now the only option left for them is to do their action. After
really?
The action, then negotiation can come. That is the situation. They said they have followed all the necessary protocol. And obviously, I am not a fan of Senegal, but I know Senegalese are not lawless people. Senegalese like to follow the protocols. So, it's not a surprise that Gambia government made the rightful position of that until something happened. Because we have seen that Gambia government is not, proactive. They are always retroactive. Only when incidents happen, they can come. But they cannot stop the incidents. Incidents will happen, then after they come and react. So which is very dangerous. That is not proactiveness. That is retroactiveness. This is what is going on right now. Because if Senegalese, they follow all the protocol and they have been engaging the government, but government is not doing anything. So this is their situation now. So the only option to them is to go and demolish all the fences, claim all the lands, then they can come and negotiate. By that time, maybe Gambia government will be ready, to negotiate with them. That's the situation.
That's absolutely crazy. But abarakabake Kebba Ansu mbadi ngolo wala mu Kebba Ansu Manneh Kebba Ansu le mu Alkamba Times la senior national correspondent Gambia banko kan nying Foni Bullock incident men sorota Gambia so yerol ning campo reje atele be kibaro nying ko ma barakabake ambassador nga Kebba moyle ko nying abala fa warata definitely ni ko kibaro be moy ni video fonje natalol je ko kere nyaming as a Gambian, it's very sad that our neighbors can act in this manner, in this way. But lafa ke jinga mem fanana ay kuma fo jang lafta nga follow wolo hani bi mamfem moy kabon na sojar kunda. What should we read into that? Mo se mune karano woto Gambia sojarolo ye menu fongola campo karakilimo beboy. Menu nyalon ko len nyanta ka banko tanka ni nyong kusivalma hani bi mamfem moy kabo wala karola nse muna karano woto.
What I'll begin with, I will salute the Gambian soldiers like this as their comrade. They are a professional army. I have said it everywhere in the Gambia. Gambia Armed Forces is one of the best armed forces in the world. I will definitely stand up to defend them. Gambia Armed Forces is under a commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Knowing the one heading the military now, he is a composed, calm individual. I personally know Usman Gomez, live near his neighborhood. He's not far away from where I live now. By nature, within the neighborhood, he is one of the most respected individuals. A person like that cannot lead an army and then it works on nonchalant and cavalier attitude behavior. He will never do that. I think I'll bring back what they did like less than a week ago. The Gambia Armed Forces went to Nfally. They were giving a intel tip-off, MI. Well, they went there and then raided bars where you have hardened criminals. Who knows? Some of them may be terrorists. Okay? There is what they call germinated activities in kind of intel language. Well, there could be forces germinating certain activities for certain reactions to happen, to have a gateway towards other things. We'll analyze that another day. But the Gambia Armed Forces is composed, and I saluted Captain Sisa Otamba. I saluted Captain Salitamba. She's a lady. Very brave people. They are handling North Bank in a way that is professional, and regardless of the challenges they face, these people are doing a wonderful job. I have to begin with that. It's not about nationalism. It's about being truthful to yourself. This is one of the best armies. I've worked with them. Before I came back to the Gambia to work at the OIC, you are aware of some of these things. I've worked with them. I've worked with GAF MI. I know who they are. Even if they don't have a lot of material, they are professionals, recognized in Pakistan, recognized in Sudan, recognized in America, recognized all over the world. And also, I have the same thing to say about the Senegalese gendarmerie. I like where Kebba Ansu ended. I respected him before, but I respect him more. He said, the Senegalese authorities have said they have been engaging the Gambian authorities. In fact, I was going to begin my second part of the surgical analysis I told you with the press releases. What do we have available for us right now? A fence is brought down. Soldiers are dumbfounded, taken by surprise, like they say in America. I mean,
but this year, sorry, if I may interrupt for a minute, before we look at maybe other avenues to address this issue, or maybe the inaction from the Gambia government side. Is it because it become firing coin
I'm coming to that because some of these things are too. No, it's all right, Fally. It's okay. Some of these things are too delicate. When you are, my common phrase, you and I, you laugh at it. I bring it back. Association of variables. That's what I'm doing right now. The thing is, like I am thinking of words. GI, geointelligence. I'm thinking of GL, geolocation. I'm thinking of latitudes and coordinates. I'm thinking of telemapping up in the satellite downwards. Then he said he's going by the GPS. GPS goes by coordinates. Okay, it is very sad though. I am very sad to sit and see two African countries today boxing each other because they inherited a border from Bismarck in Berlin Conference. Fali, that is very sad. What we should do, because you see, press release, I always call this government a printing machine of press releases. Not every situation that you solve with a press release. There are things you don't issue. Had they done something else, the Senegalese government would have done similar. Because those people are strategically between military service and diplomatic service. That's what is happening here at the border right now. But before you... Yeah, go ahead.
They've been very clear. It will be
yes.
Gambia man sakundale la folmu because
yes.
na katale puru niye nyomoi ngani ko bang bari man kukeje. But la fake nyini nga mem fananda. Gambia ni Senegal tema nga Senegal o Gambia commission sotale. Akita
secretariat
lota secretariat sorry kaje ko badi Gambia ni Senegal la badi yalu ku ko tan menu se wulino menu se fitno wulino men boko nyi nane ko wala se tama wodo. You know, la fake nyini nga menna muna hatina nyi silola Senegalese man tani wo silola bari yaje ko okay mbatu nga muna fan sembola nga tanga nyimboy.
You see, Fali, states are machines that feed on interest and what is rational and reasonable for them. States do not feed on emotions. Senegal or Gambian Secretariat is there. There are areas where it is cultural, it's emotional. Those things can be said. But when it comes to intelligence, when it comes to state matters, you and I know that reciprocity exists and interest exists. The Senegalese president, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, is elected to represent Senegal and defend Senegal's interests. That's it. So when it comes to a situation like this, there is nothing like Senegal or Gambian Secretariat. You heard the press release, Fali. They said, we have been engaging. And I told somebody who is a professional like me, he said, you know what? You're right. I told him, look, before you start being emotionally attached to nationalism, be rational and say, knowing how professional the Senegalese gendarmerie is, locally and globally, knowing how their army is. And this is not only the Senegalese army, they are the ones you are looking at. But this is a combination of different factors. Army is in it, gendarmerie is in it, customs is in it, Senegalese intelligence is in it. The operation cannot happen in the absence of these four arms. It cannot happen. Now let us expand it fully to a point where we're in West Africa. We all heard how shaky Mali is, right? Now, if people are feeling that now, look, let me know exactly where my territory. I'm just expanding it as a professional for us to think out of the box. Let me really understand the demarcation of my border to protect it, so that if anybody runs from another country, infiltrate, I can capture you and say you are within Senegalese jurisdiction. What about if that's the way they are thinking? I'm not saying that's the way they are thinking. Look at the month they did it. Observe the month. They did it in July, right?
Right.
Exactly. So the intention is do it, quite attention. That's the way I see it. Because this month, if you do things like this, farmers will be affected, shepherds will be affected, villagers will be affected, the attention will be drawn. That's my own analysis anyway. I don't know whether that's why they did, because timing matters in any operation. Timing.
So
now,
if I understand you well, ninga kala nge fa bi mu foka wala muko nying niaje ngam fanje nying kono bi man sakunda la mama mbaliala mu nyinte because ning atra Senegalel be nying ke kan pour kan na man sakunda tek den tumando bato e sulata corporation men na man sakunda bulu sulata pour man sakunda e si ni nying ko kata nyame man tra ka sore la carola. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not what I'm saying. It's what the Senegalese press release is saying.
Yes, absolutely.
It is the same thing they are saying. Personally, I know the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Personally, that guy is I'm not praising him, one of the best diplomats Africa can ever have. I know him as a person. That man will never be an instigator of fueling border crisis. He's a UN product. Okay? But when it comes to state matters now, is it about him, Sheikh Tijan Nyang, the person, or is it about state interest and national interest? What a problem. So, this cannot be solved by press releases, Fali. If I were to be the one heading the Gambia and I see things like this, it will not stop me from drinking attire. I will not panic. I will not be paranoid. What I'll do is I will call the SIS. I will call the Minister of Interior. I will call the Minister of Defense, and I'm the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. I will call the Senegalese ambassador. First of all, we have a discussion at the drawing room and tell him the facts what they are. I will also invite the Ministry of Works. But I don't want to say that, but there are other things that happen when some engineers work hard and it was neutralized. Do you know that sometimes the road that they wanted to build wanted to enter into the Gambia because of these kind of things around Kungel area, but they decided to respect because the Gambia engaged them professionally. There was a time they came in a meeting. These things are, I don't want to elaborate a lot more, but these things are happening technically. This should have been addressed because if they say, I know when they released that they have been engaged in the Gambia government, did you hear any denial?
No denial. But this is ning fit no wulida banko fulo tema nane kola anim banko kola munsila lelbeje inyanda menu tamala ngal ko Gambia ni Senegal tema nganying Senegal or Gambia conference but at the level of the government, which government agency or ministry is responsible for boundaries and territorial matters?
I was listing them. I'll call Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Works, Ministry of Lands. Okay? And I'll call the CDS and the head of SIS. This is not a political solution. This is not euphoria. And Gambians, some of them are just taking it. You see, politicians, sometimes they like it because if there is an error from the government and some Gambians are seeing it as a Senegal-Gambia thing, they may lose in terms of understanding the issue. The challenge remains on asking the authorities to tell us the facts. Because the Senegalese press release is an implicating press release.
It is.
And it's coming from a professional. And I'm saying it publicly. I know the man. He will never be part of something like this. Just, I'm not saying it because I want to side with Gambia. No, I'm siding with the truth and the facts. Because what they should do is to compose a delegation. Make sure that that delegation is empowered with the right material. Go to Senegal and sit with them. They discuss this. Because the soldiers in Bruf, I mean, we're not Brufut, Bullock. I know Bullock. I've crisscrossed through Bullock so many times. I know Bullock. In fact, I was surprised. Now the soldiers there, Fali, Gambians should take it easy. They're saying that no, our soldiers are useless. Why are they useless? Soldiers go by instruction and orders. Some people are saying, oh, they don't have the arms. How do you know? They don't know what arms our soldiers are. But for me, I don't believe that this is a solution for arms. I do not pray for us to resort to arms, because before you talk about rules of engagement means you are already in the battlefield. So why not you talk about, let me just land here. Why not you talk about now what we should have on the table is preventive diplomacy. Yeah.
No, I was going to say just to pick up on that point of diplomacy, there are people who would say Senegal should have exhausted all diplomatic and technical channels before deploying the military. Coming Namanam Futa, Kasojaro Luki, Kadunang Gambia, Kafenso Boy. Maybe, you know, any being a quotam, Nima Sotono at the level of the ministry, you escalated to your presidency, you know, Gambian in Senegal, La Carola. Do you think there is any merit to that argument, or?
For me, I still go by the press releases.
Okay.
The press release of the Gambia government is non-committal. It's passive in nature, self-victimization and self-defeatism. Trying to push it as if we are victims here. But when the Senegalese came out, you see, it's not an easy equation for anybody to think that you can politicize this to your advantage, especially if it is being done by because the contradiction is here. If you are trying to show people that the Gambians, I'm a victim, who are the ones guarding you? Isn't it the people that we are indexing now? Who entered block? And who are set-ups? Who are the ones? I just saw them today at All Yundo. They are there, Ecobing, Senegalese. So you see, when you analyze security matters like this, it's a complex situation. So when anybody wants to use this as a political pawn, you are making a mistake. You are shooting yourself on the foot. You know. So do you think the Senegalese will just get up unprofessionally and engage a country where their own people are, and they know that their people could be vulnerable out of their action? Do you think they will do that? So our government needs to make people understand what do they know that they have not said. Because the Senegalese government's press release is implicating. Well, it's very clear. They said we have been engaging over the years. Now, 2016 to now is over the years, isn't it? If they were engaging Drammeh, wouldn't they have been bringing these fences down during his time?
Absolutely.
Did they do that? Some people are saying, oh, if it was Drammeh's time. No, it's not a question of Drammeh's time. The times are different. The presidents are different. The current president in Senegal is called Bassirou Diomaye Diakhar Faye. Drammeh's time, the presidents were called Abdou Diouf, Abdoulaye Wade, and Macky Sall. Like they say in America, do the right thing at the right place at the right time. Say the right thing at the right place at the right time. So, Fally, this thing, what I'm saying is that no Gambian, I'm happy that you told me, because I told some of my friends that I'm not going to analyze anything security over the Gambia anymore. I will just let them deal with it. Because for me, I'm not trying to do it to make a name. I know my job and I know what I am doing, and I just love the Gambia, and that's it. And you are doing the same thing here. But if some people believe that everything is to be political, even if somebody goes against you, but when it comes to professional analysis for national interest, listen. Because if Bullock is unstable, other places are unstable, do you think anybody will even think of going on tours and rallies and meetings? Where are you going? I'm pretty sure that some people will be shouting here, calling themselves opposition right now. If things were to continue escalating, none of them will go to Foye for a meeting. I will go though. If I had a meeting, not to bluff, I would go, because it cannot stop me. The issue is that why would I go? It's not a question of not fearing, but it's a question of being committed to my nation. But now some people are saying that, okay, you know, look at the bourgeoisie style of the security also, Fally. Look at it. Sometimes things happen. You see somebody goes there with a kaftan and all that stuff. Oh, chief of this came, chief of that came, chief. So many chief, no Indians. You know, I mean, come on, Fally. You know how to make me talk. I didn't want to talk. All these chief.
I know you talked about it briefly. I've seen comments online where people were saying the restraint from our army, to some people, it exposes some sort of a weakness.
No.
Okay, because na sojero mam kuke, mamma mangi man you stop. You know, Tumando Bato, you know, I do reality or something like that.
No.
Or do you think what they did?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm from that family. I know these boys. I know who the Gambia Armed Forces are. They are no cowards, and they are not close to cowards. Cowardice comes out of being impulsive and compulsive, instinctive and irrational when something happens. You don't engage in war or in shooting out just because you are panicked or you are angry. You don't do that. What the Gambia Armed Forces did, I salute them. That's exactly what they should do. They shouldn't engage in anything like that. Because look, Fally, for me, I give them credit. If I were to have the money, I would have called them today and give them each a bag of money and tell them thank you. Because you know what? This is what love for country means. Self-restraint. I commend them for that. They are not cowards. They know the Gambia Armed Forces in Sudan. The Senegalese army knows them. They know the Gambia Armed Forces in East Timor. I'm not praising the Gambia Armed Forces because of politics. No, they know I am part of them. I've been saying, and you know that when we were at OIC, some people used to say I'm biased with security. And you used to laugh. They used to accuse me of that. So this, Fally, for me, they are brave. You see, James Bond said, the best fighter is the one who is calm during commotion.
This year, I'm trying to mbeb demento bindikang lafta is so miro la oro. Say nyim do no problemo. Mbala la jumala ka. Pesa ala mabarole mbang for allowing this issue to come this far without being resolved.
Well, I wouldn't individually bring him and La at moto, but I will also fault some of the people calling themselves security experts around him. This is an MI lapse or an MI failure. No military barracks will get up and enter Senegal from Gambia, do what these people did without the Senegalese MI knowing and sending signals. This should have been a signal captured by our MI inside and let us know, and it helps diplomacy also. Intelligence helps a lot diplomacy because you see, the bravest soldier is the one who averts threats. It's not the one who entertains threats and then react by going out into a sporadic shooting here and there. No, that's not a brave soldier. Averting threats is what we want. We don't want threats to be transformed into action and shootouts. No, I don't like that. So for me, Malala Jumale Kunto, what I will try to say is that the Gambia government itself, this is not a press release issue, and I've already said it. Now, when people speak internally, the Gambia government, some of them will come out, go on media platforms, act like experts, trying to rebut what you say. This is not a question of rebuttal to Nfally Essa or Pa and so on. No. The question is stay calm, understand that you cannot be an expert in all these subjects, and this is a delicate one. Any one of them who wants to politicize it, know that they are going against the president's interest and the national interest. This is not politics.
So
it's very serious.
On a similar matter, this year, Gambia government nyanta nyinko manangkunda nyaming. Press release o dama, is it enough, or do they need to like formally protest? Maybe kanyinko samba to another level? Because other than a press release from Gambia government thanking the army for exercising restraint, we are not aware of anything else for coming Italy Senegal ambassador someone, because this is the greatest test of sovereignty that we have faced in a long time. You know, amanke ko coming Senegal dunda nanjenne in a collaborative manner. Okay, maybe Karaberol kele ni be denta kola, but this is an act of aggression. A better than a wolem. So I don't know whether Gambia government statement in Koro for wasale beyond the press release. Should they have protested? Should they have summoned the Senegalese ambassador? Should they have taken this matter to the UN or ECOWAS or whatever? What do you think they should have done in terms of response that could have been adequate?
Yalo mbeto nyala yalo nini mbema bono njoka dunde jabe. Because I just wanted to let them deal with their things because they think they know. That's it. But anyway, just a joke. I mean, but for me, the way I see this Nfally is that it's not a blame game. But when we say it is aggression, now I told you from the departure point, it's between diplomacy and military operation. Don't you think Senegal, Dakar also can claim that the aggression was first done by the Gambia? Because they will say, you built your fence. You know, Natara is Mafoko, they are right, Gambia is wrong. If you start trading accusations here, accusatory position, they can say, okay, you started the aggression. You entered into our territory and you built a fence. Some people will tell you, no, we know this is Gambia. You see, this is what I don't even want to start mushrooming. The government should handle this. Look, the press release of this Senegalese government file is implicating, even if our government wants to go to United Nations, let them be careful. If they want to go to any tribunal, let them be careful, because these people, their press release is implicating Nfally professionally, because they will say, we have been engaging them for over the years. Now, the next thing would be, if you were to go to a tribunal, the next thing would be, they will say, okay, where is your proof? Do we know which proof they have? Do Gambians know? No, let me just ask you, do Gambians know telephone conversations that were done between them and the authorities in the Gambia? Do they know whether Sonatel was doing eavesdropping? Do they know whether they have recordings and voices? You don't know. We don't know. So this is, the Gambia government also cannot be exonerated it from this and now start seeing themselves as, okay, this is a Gambian thing. Now, if you are saying it's a Gambian thing, I'm a victim, who are the ones guarding you? Why didn't we think of victimization at that time then?
Absolutely. No, it's something that I would want us to come to, like, nying ku keda watile me alon ko Senegal lelbe Gambia e ben man sakunda President Kantakang. We'll come to that in a bit. But this year, I want to ask, nying banku ku problemo Gambian in Senegal. For Gambia mang kaitolu soto, Gambia mang maps tol soto, Gambia mang coordinator soto, come in demarcation records that can settle this issue. Sako fama Senegal la nying watu wati ka fuko jamunta de jamunta, because membe kekang ngaji ko this border dispute abina sembu bina warakana abi banko karo bele bekam na nyomi karola salum, you know, jokadu fon kono do la jokadu fon kono there were
kana jele kana silande ko kana kunta ya tambulu kana silande
there were sato dol bendolo jokadu ma fon la men yalon ko many years ago they used to be considered part of Gambia will be Senegal yeta foni the same yeta same for, you know, it's like almost everywhere. So for Gambia mang demarcation records also to bang kaitan di Senegal lako Gambia danta janne muntati for woman bang from our own end.
It should be there. If the government will tell me that they don't have it, if you go to other archives, they will tell you that it all ma Gambian in Senegal la fenko imaje dula ikawojele. Some people are circulating some document, but definitely there should be oceanographic and also this topography, like on the land and also in the sea. There should be some demarcation. There was a time that people were saying, not even people were saying, it's a fact. Ours is like 12 nautical miles inside the sea. There is where we stop. You know, they have the oceanic plates and all that. They have the outer space jurisdiction. Well, maybe jurisdiction already, because Nyimandang just a line between two countries. Now we are going to do it outer space jurisdiction because Gambia also universally, I think, if I am not making a mistake, the altitude will be about 5,000 feet above sea level or something like that. Okay, so these are part. Nyimbe is one package, the aerial part of it, the water part, the maritime part of it, and also the geographic, like as far as the land part of it. So that's why they call land, air, sea. That's why they always say that. So it's not as easy as that. And I think if government that tells me we do not have a cartography to show this, will be a very irresponsible government.
So how do we solve this year? Do we have an independent border commission involving ECOWAS, or do we, you know, come together as two countries? Because situation of food can demand to sign malum for Gambian in Senegal the mangol si no le bang yenin ko nganing kono tama ya bang. Whether do we is it going to involve other people?
You know, I'm laughing. You're bringing my old friend into this equation. ECOWAS. You see what I write about ECOWAS? ECOWAS. Well, anyway, for me, I don't know, man. For ECOWAS, anyway. Well, yeah, I mean, not to ridicule them or not to say that they are not doing anything and all that, but we have to pounce on them and criticize them. Look at ECOWAS. Putin came from Kremlin, negotiating between Mali and Algeria. When ECOWAS is there, if they are going emotionally, because Botaje, that's their failure too. Even now, Botaje, if it is a problem in Africa, force yourself in it and help solve it. It may even make him come back. We sit in West Africa when Kremlin came to negotiate between Mali and Algeria. That is very serious. Mahama in Ghana, I'm bringing this example because yalo ite ilaftan dia mundila malom for ilaftan na solution or diba malafi la je for the fam. Mahama came and is working with Traore. This is an elected president. This is a military president. At Ghana and Burkina, there was a time, a tension also. But imagine a diplomacy, because that man is seeing the interest of Ghanaians, among emotional about it. You understand? So now, what I would, if I were to be the president, what I would do was to bring together all the stakeholders within the government. I will not be emotional. I will not be submissive. Manta yalo mold ka fuga ni tata dagar ibe fang ni Senegalon man no. You know, that is during the era of the Armageddon. Whatever, not Armageddon, but during the era of the Dark Ages, Kariman no Gladiator, let us call Bunki Dola. No, you can solve it, because them are luffy. Phoning Kolu, Joka Dun Kolu, they are victims over certain mistakes that are professionals where guns are involved. Them are luffy one. So diplomacy is irregular. But diplomacy is not political partisan feeling. No. That it shouldn't be that. Now, this is also another failure on the side of Gambia's diplomacy. If the Senegalese press, the president of the Senegalese government is anything to go by, who received it? Who was talking to them? Who were they engaging? Open-ended questions. And open-ended questions dig into souls to get people the facts. You see, this is the problem, Fali. You know, you always know how to make me talk. The thing is, Fali,
No,
but we are family and friends, and I know you. I'm just teasing, but it's good the way you approach things, because you are trying to show me that Hanna Tarafanang iman lafike time waste with, but mol jibe banku dingol jibe, and you are right.
Yeah.
You know, the point is that, Fali, this thing should be resolved diplomatically, not militarily. But who, the Senegalese, Yalong Gambian or Fanan, citizen or medical Wurika for Senegalese, yap leno, the word yap cannot exist between states. No, the issue is that they replied. When they replied, has the Gambian government said any press release again? It's our role now, we, the Gambians, to hold the authorities accountable and tell them who were the Senegalese speaking to. The Gambian armed forces, there is what they call in America that one of the best weapons in the world, Fali, is SS, surprise and suspense. If you are surprised, a failure on a lapse of MI or a failure on a lapse of diplomacy, because I cannot blame the MI too much of the Gambian armed forces, but the diplomacy also, there should be MIs in the diplomatic field too. Don't they have people in Dakar?
Yes, they do.
Don't you attend cocktail parties? Don't you engage the senior army officers? Don't you have people based in Casamance to understand what's going to happen? And then you signal to your government to get ready, not to get ready to fight back, but to get ready and go and influence the one giving the orders in Dakar that do not give them orders. We want to sit and talk to you. That's what MI does, military intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah, the last question that I have for you is, nying mama mengera block ni boda ku problema wo nga dum fana moy jimbala I nying this notion of Gambian in Senegal ekatula moy le Gambia Senegal bena bopala ken murut ko har ñaar I'm sorry for laughing, but sometimes it's just, but you know, there are people menuko nying Gambian in Senegal bena bopala ken munu ko har ñaar
it is true.
It looks like that whole mantra is now just left with Gambians, because ning atara komen bena bopala ken munu ko har ñaar kon ka fa ñameng, then you would think that ning ko be tamala ning hakili mayala jan ning sojerol ning kidol be duna ko kon yena fanna ko hol fanan jibe, where Senegal always acts in its interest. And nobody can blame Senegal for prioritizing their interests. Ila banko la interest at all cost. So what I am kind of confused by, and I would really want to, you know, kela kilma fenkaje wala mu saying kul men kake nyim bodo ku problemo me alon katula jela amandan Casamas fitno da mala bar Gambia phone in Senegal tema direct. You know, when Gambian in Senegal la badiyatu mintore. You know, because obviously Gambia dingolu mo jamalel fanambe kamfare nyinkola. And ninyin kamfal ka tending tumando bato Gambia, Senegal, Bena Bopala, you politicians may not be able to convince people to believe that in that anymore. Why does this incident leave the relationship between Gambia and Senegal?
Well, thank you, Fali, for this very important question. You see, I used to say this when we were together. You know, you heard me say people-to-people relationship and state-to-state relationship. So, when you said Gambia and Senegal, Bena Bopara, Ken Munuko Harnyar, Damare, Degala is a fact. Ken Munuko Harnyar, geographically, historically, culturally, it is true. But who are the people threatening it? Politicians and political interests. That's why I said people-to-people relation. Thomas Sankara once said it. He said, the people in Burkina and the people in Europe are the same people, the same complaints, the same issues. The problem is between the states, not the people. You see, Gambia and Senegal, it is a fact. But the politician. Now the Gambians, what I want to advise them, let them not involve themselves in saying this is a Gambian thing. Because the sitting government itself, as I always say it, you know, Fali, the thing is that I still go by the press release of the Senegalese government. So we don't have that issue. Now, didn't Senegal allow the Scorpions to go and play at their stadium and then pay the hotel and everything also? When we are to, for the specifics, if we are to bring pluses and minuses, didn't they do that? Who is the one responsible of not being able to survive, to provide that for the Scorpions? Is it the Senegalese government or the Gambia government? Now the issue is that if you are the one who has lapses around you, failures around you, you think that everything is being on media platforms at the defante, the garuwale wanted. That doesn't make a state move. It doesn't make a country move. These are one of the challenges of a government. This is where you know that governance is not a flowchart, trial and error formula. No. You have to understand strategically what to do. This is where strategies are needed now. Real strategies. I may not want to say any strategy here because they feel that they don't need some of us. They don't need to listen. They can do everything. They are the colossal government. Anybody who tells them the truth, you are an enemy. So fine, let them deal with it. But you are making me talk. The thing is, Fali, this issue cannot just be seen between Gambia and Senegal like that. There was a time, let me come to Jimbala. There was a time we had Serin Digal. You remember him? Serin Digal was brought at the TRRC. We say a lot of things about Yahya Abdul Aziz Demos Jungung Jammeh. On this point, I'll give him credit. When he heard that Serin Digal was crisscrossing between Jimbala and these places, people were talking about it, that was caused by the community, not the Senegalese government. Yahya arrested him. Didn't he do that? He did. And then stepped in. During his time, these things, you did not hear them. What were the agreements between him and that? Because it's a question of concessions. He might have been giving things, and they have been giving things. You never know. So if you don't know how to play the chess, you just want to sit there. Anytime it's too much for you, I'm a victim. How can you be a victim of the person guarding you? That doesn't hold water. It has no logic in it. If you use diplomacy or security for someone like me, you assign me to make analysis of it, I will say that this is self-victimization between wishes and convenience to stay on the seat of power. That's it. But these people are not victimizing us. They said they have been engaging the government. What does the Gambia government know? Senegalese government will never send a press release. I know them. I was trained in them gendarmerie school. I know they are good at intel. People may just hold their horses back and wait because they may come out with evidences that Gambians will hold their mazai. Let us be careful. Let us leave the people who they were dealing with to solve it. Let them not push it back to us and start to pump our chest here that this is a nationalism issue. It's not a nationalism issue. It's an issue of a government that did not do its job properly until it reached the stage. And the government of Senegal is following its interest. States do not follow that. They follow interest. If you are following your interest, Gambia should follow its interest.
Absolutely.
Who is stopping our government from following its interest? But some of them will come back here and start preaching everywhere. No, me personally, everything I said here is to help our government, isn't it? In a way. Those who are trying to tell people, yeah, let's be peaceful, let's be peaceful. I love peace more than them because you are talking about Tambana and Jokado, and I laughed. I was laughing, but it's serious.
Yeah.
Baria Jokadu, when I went to Mene, I said, if I were to be the president, I would talk to the Senegalese government for us to break that place so that we can bring. I said it in Mene, and Baria, part of Baria is in Senegal, part of Baria is in Gambia. If they are following coordinates, and it's a creek, it's a beautiful creek for tourism. They have been sharing that with us. What's going to happen next? Who knows? You need to understand the geography of your country, the history of your country. You need to have the strategic acumen, but you don't need to spend all your time rhetorically answering or bombarding between you and the opposition all the time. That's not how to run a government. Yeah,
absolutely. That's definitely not how to run a government. Mbaringolu ning Ambassador Essa Bokar Sey lebejam natelebe kachakang nying Gambia Senegal badia kola nyim banku gu problemo nim fitno me alonko woleba akmo kurkan ka finti na banku flan tema. Nte kundi wala miro menti this way memfo is true. I think at the people to people relationship be mu killing already, but ni nata Bankola Carola, come memfo, there is no interest there, no permanent interest. No Bankol Baker Buller interest.
No emotions.
No emotions. Gambia nyanta kabula wale norma. And in doing so, we should, it's states craftlem. Bankome memfo, I also agree with. If we have had if we had taken our relationship with Senegal from a strategic point of view, Senegalese la sojerulu manyane parera. Kadung Gambia, ka basinul kafu nyoma, ka sojerulu kafu nyoma, ka joronul kafu yedung Gambia nto la mol mambo kalama. Not our civilian intelligence structures, not our military intelligence structures. I think that is also another point that I also learned from this conversation. And I think going forward, we should take Senegal as a very serious strategic partner. And what do you do with strategic neighbor? What do you do with your strategic neighbor? You are always on the alert, always on the alert. Badiyani Sinyabe Wale Nyama. Thank you very much, Ambassador Abaraka.
You mentioned one thing. I just want to say a little bit because you provoked me when you brought that. You said statecraft. Statecraft, Fally, should always be a twin of the tradecraft, and that tradecraft feels from the invisible structure.
Invisible structure, absolutely. This year.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, sir.
Ngali jele atulu menialonko atule beng fekakang Alasana Drammeh is on YouTube. Ako very true. Government has to follow their interests first instead of saying we are one people. Trust no one. Wobenjibe kam Facebook le wala mala Facebook toti. At a very interesting conversation. And then we have somebody. A lot of people many alonko ben jibe kang and then reacting dol beje many alonko wol fanamberi akam menna wala mu na kacha foloti membe dendin ning Ebrima Migrant Situation e mensoto tol many alonko albe kafu kam masaing nga mem follow kacha wala mu wo kulungati mem wulita Gambia mo keme fula mo tansabani femba kono andum iko mo seydorong wala nilama nin kulungo findita Ukraine Mauritania la $10. So ninku mu keme fula ni mfengolo ikol be fata ni momo fata ike muta ke killing fay ke jolong bakono na la fakawo kacha nying bulaw fana noma ni Ebrima Migrant Situation Drammeh mensoto kacha dadula al semuru nani YouTube video dadula wara Facebook albe kacha nyimbe ngosoto la almati loto di ala alman be tankala katani karatola wassalam ala baraka APS International Wolel Bulobe na Bitilo kibaro ko